Hey guys, welcome back to my shop. Today I'm going to be working on a couple of little projects to help me here in the CNC shop. I've got two or three of these little routers. This one happens to be a Porter Cable 450, which as you can see is basically the same as a DeWalt 611. This is the uh, little attachment that goes on the DeWalt, and I've got one of those over there as well, but they're interchangeable. The only difference between a DeWalt 611 and a Porter Cable 450 is the Porter Cable 450 does not have the variable speed. It's just a all or nothing, and the DeWalt has the variable speed thing, but they're interchangeable, probably made in the same factory over there in China. Anyway, I wanted to make sort of a little mini router table to help me just like put roundovers on stuff that comes off the CNC, or maybe a flush trim bit or something like that. I think what I'm going to do is when I build this, I'm going to attach it to my workbench over there, just kind of hang it off the end. I'll make it where it can be removable so I can get it out of the way when I don't need it. But then I think I'll put probably a roundover bit in maybe the Porter Cable, and then a flush trim bit in the DeWalt 611, and then I can just easily swap them out. But this part will be bolted to a board that will then be attached to the workbench. So that's one of the little projects I'm going to work on this morning. So let's shut up and get started. Okay, I realized that the phone battery died about 2 or 3 minutes into that last CNC run, and I think the battery on the mic died a little bit before that. But at any rate, let me summarize and get you caught up. Here's what you missed: a boring CNC running, cutting this stuff out, and me sanding. So now you're caught up. So let me kind of show you how this works. I got two pieces. This bottom piece is going to be glued onto the bottom of this, basically just to make it a little thicker and help stabilize a little bit. These three holes here, this will go on the edge of my workbench, and I'll match drill those. And then on the other underside of my workbench, I'll put some threaded T-nuts for 1/4 so I'll be able to just screw this on, and it'll hold this in place. Doesn't take up a lot of room, and then of course I can take it off if it gets in my way. So this is just a clearance hole to clear this. And let me kind of show you how this is going to work now. This little plate will now go in here and be flush on this. And I'll check these screws. Let's check and make sure they're going to be long enough. I think they will. Well, if I can hit the hole. Ah, there it goes. Okay, yeah, feels like the screw's biting good, so that'll be holding it up. All right, so the next step is to get these two pieces glued together, and when I get those glued together, I'll be back to install this on the end of the workbench. Okay, the glue's dry. Let's get this thing unclamped and get it installed on the end of the workbench. Okay, I'm going to be putting these little threaded, I guess you call them T-nuts or whatever, from the underside. So I've got a 5/16 drill bit, which is what you need for that right there. So I'm just going to mash drill these holes. Okay. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and fasten these two, and then I can have this clamp out of the way to do this third one. So I should be able to take one of these. And it looks like I'm running into the 2x4 right here, so I may have to move those holes a little bit farther out. So let's see if I can. Okay, I had to back up and punt a little bit. These first three holes that I had put in, I thought were far enough this way, but they were. I have like a 2x4 on the frame of this workbench right here, and it was just catching the side of that 2x4. So I just on the fly moved these holes out a little bit and put the T-nut under there, and it looks like that's gonna hold pretty good, I think. So now let's see if we can get this put in here. Well, helps if you have a screwdriver in your hand when you get ready to do this. So let's try this again. Okay, so there we go. I think this is going to work good. It's with the router being outside here, it's easy to get to the ring and the release that I need to do this. And when I need to come in here with the wrench, I just need to make sure that I've got this high enough up, because the higher you have this, the more space you have in that opening. Or actually, that's too high. So yeah, that's going to be good right there. You can get in. I don't know if you can see my finger, but you can get in with the wrench to get to that. So now I just need to get my roundover bits and I'm good to go, and we'll start on the next little project. The other project that I wanted to work on today is this router bit tray with numbered slots, so I can keep my tooling organized a little better. It's going to go in this location right here. I need to build a little storage area with a drawer, and that'll be another project coming up real soon. For this router bit tray, I started with a piece of this 1/2-inch plywood that I had laying around. It's not very pretty, but I think it'll look okay if I cut a piece of 5/32 birch plywood with the laser and do some engraving to number the slots for the router bits, and then glue that on top. So I fired up the old Ohmtech laser and used it to engrave the numbers on the slots, and then I've cut 32 slots here. You can see 0 through 31. And then I also cut some random holes in case I just want to stick some 1/4 inch and maybe a few 1/2-inch bits just in there, just some miscellaneous stuff. And then I also cut another pocket that's going to be a place for me to fit my calipers in there. After the laser was done, it was just a matter of lining up the laser cut piece with the piece I ran on the CNC to line up the pockets, and just glue it down and put some weight on it and wait for the glue to dry. Okay, as you look at this numbering system I have on my router bit tray, you might say, well, what kind of crazy stuff is this? 0 through 31. What the heck is that? Well, I'm using the Masso controller, but mine is a 2nd generation Masso controller. So if I come over here to the tool database, you can see that it starts with tool 0 and goes down to 31. So you've got 32 tools numbered 0 through 31 for the tool database. So that's why I'm using this kind of unorthodox numbering system on my router bit tray. Okay, you'll notice that there's a few empty spots up there, especially in that top row, but spots number 12 and 13 are going to be filled up with those new Molly Mill bits that Cadence Manufacturing and Design is releasing today, as a matter of fact. I ordered mine yesterday on pre-order and can't wait to get them. So if you haven't got yours yet, go to Cadence Manufacturing and Design, and you can use discount code DAVE10 and get a discount on the bits that you order from him. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the way out, and if you like CNC content, be sure and hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that little bell as well so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. And until the next one, thank you very much for watching.